Hello everyone, welcome to today's session for Infosys placement. So we are talking about the Infosys placement that's going to happen very soon. I want to begin with the entire pattern that you can expect for the selection. So first of all, you will have your written test and you will have two segments in written test, which is analytical reasoning and verbal ability. Once you clear these two stages, you will qualify for the interview. Now interview, you will have two rounds. The one is technical round and then you have HR round as well. Will this be a one-on-one interview or panel interview? We don't know. It could differ from place to place. So the point is you got to be prepared regardless if it's one-on-one or panel interview. The very first session that I did last week, I did speak in detail about interview essentials. If required, we can probably look at a recap and repeat of that tomorrow. But before that, I want to start with the pattern, the written test. Like I said, two segments, analytical reasoning and verbal ability. You will have 30 questions that needs to be answered in 40 minutes. And you will have questions on quantitative aptitude and reasoning. And verbal ability, the pattern reverses. Instead of 30, you will have 40 questions, and instead of getting 40 minutes, you will get only 30 minutes. The topic that will be expected for aptitude is data interpretation, syllogisms, data sufficiency, problems on trains, time and work, permutation and combinations, number series, coding and decoding, and puzzles. And as far as the verbal ability is concerned, you will have questions on critical reasoning and theme detection. I know we did very little examples of theme detection. We'll try to do as much as possible. Fill in the blanks in sentence correction, pretty much the same way. You need to identify any grammatical mistakes and correct it. We'll look at some examples today. And then you have reading comprehension, where you'll have two passages with 5 questions each. And that makes it 10 questions for passage comprehension or reading comprehension, 10 for sentence correction, fill in the blanks, and theme detection, you will have 10 questions. Please remember, you need to clear the written assessment in order to qualify for the interview round. Now let's look at some help that you can use free of cost. These are Android applications which you can find in the Google Play Store, Pocket Verbal Ability and Pocket Aptitude. You can download and use it to practice in your free time as much as possible. Please try to practice as much as possible. It's going to help you with your accuracy as well as time management. All right. Now, I want to quickly look at a sentence improvement which we did yesterday. Now, what happens in these kind of questions is you will be given a question. You will be given a sentence broken into 3 parts, and you need to identify which part of this sentence has error in it. Now, when I say error, I'm technically talking about grammatical errors. So you need to identify which part of the sentence has grammatical error, and you need to identify, and that exactly is the correct answer. So basically the correct answer in sentence correction or identification of error is identifying the sentence stem which has a grammatical mistake. All right, let's take a quick look at it. Here is your example. As much as I admire for his sterling qualities, I cannot excuse him for being unfair to his friends. As much as I admire for his sterling qualities. What do you mean sterling qualities? Means amazing quality. I cannot excuse him for being unfair to his friends. Now you need to identify which part A, B or C has grammatical error. If you feel none of these 3 options have grammatical error, you will obviously choose option D, which is no error. So take your time, read it, understand it, try to figure out where the grammatical mistake is. Okay. Now in this example, we do not have any sentence stem where there is a grammatical error. So we will choose no error. Next. Please try to understand that the dispute on this issue is between my brother and myself and concerns nobody else. Now this is a very good example. I mean, a lot of us speak like this and there is an issue here. Let's see if you can identify. Please try to understand that the dispute on this issue is between my brother and myself and concerns nobody else. Please identify where is the issue, and if you are able to identify which sentence stem has an issue, you also should be able to tell what is the correct answer, what is the correct form of the sentence. Okay, read one by one and then try to figure out. All right, now here is where the problem is, that the dispute on this issue is between my brother and myself. Now this is how we speak, this is how we write, but please understand grammatically it is incorrect. I'll quickly demonstrate to you what do I mean by this. So let me try writing a sentence for you that will help you understand. This is, for example, if I'm talking about 2 people or 3 people, me, my friend and my cousin, just a moment, I'm just trying to bring this in center so that it's easy for you to see and understand. Okay, me, my friend and my cousin are planning to go for shopping. Okay, now this is how we generally speak, right? But is this correct? No, it is not. The correct form is just a moment. The correct form is my friend, my cousin and I are planning to go for shopping tomorrow. The point to be noted is when you are talking about the first person, that is yourself, this will always come in the end. We usually mention that in the beginning, but that is wrong. At the same time, you cannot even say myself. For example, if I write another sentence which is grammatically incorrect, let me demonstrate that to you. My friend and myself are going for a movie. Now, why is this incorrect? If I remove this myself are going for movie, do you say myself going for movie? No, you say I am going for movie. Okay. Hence, I is the correct form. My friend and I are going for a movie. Now, why should I use are instead of am? Because I am adding two subject, my friend and I, and that's a plural form. Got it? So let me go back to the presentation. Just a moment. Okay. So when I have a sentence which is B, that the dispute on this issue is between my brother and myself, that is wrong. It should be, please try to understand the dispute on this issue is between my brother and I and concerns nobody else. Hence, B is the sentence stem where there is a mistake. All the furnitures have been sent to the new house located in a village. All the furnitures have been sent to the new house located in a village. Now, why is this incorrect? because furnitures is itself is a plural form. So you don't add another s and make it. For example, if I have the word children, if I have the word children, I don't add an s and say children's. If I have the word people, I don't say peoples. So there are a lot of words which does not have an additional plural form because the word itself is a plural form. Words like, let me show you some example. Baggage, luggage, children, furniture, data, information. All these words are plural form itself. So you don't have to add an s in the end. Even word like garbage. Okay, we don't say please send me the datas. We don't say please move the furnitures. We don't say please teach the children's, because these are plural form itself, so you don't have to add an s. Hence, A, all the furnitures have been is the sentence stem where there is a mistake because it should be furniture. Next, it does not matter how you do it. What I want is that you should finish the work within a month. It does not matter how you do it. What I want is that you should finish the work within a month. Now, where do you think the issue is? Where do you think the error is? This could be a little tricky. B is where the issue is, because you don't need another that here. Got it? So it should be does not matter how you do it. What I want is you should finish the work within a month. This that is a redundant word. This is not needed at all. That is why B is the sentence stem where there is a mistake. Let's look at the next one. Though senior in age, his father is junior than my father in service. Though senior in age, his father is junior than my father in service. Where do you think the error is? B again, where the error is. Though senior in age, his father is junior to my father in service. Okay, it's not than, junior to. While walking slowly in the park on a quiet summer afternoon, a mad dog suddenly attacked him from behind. While walking slowly in the park on a quiet summer afternoon, a mad dog suddenly attacked him from behind. Now, this is a confusing sentence. You need to think and understand where the issue is. Okay, while walking slowly in the park. Now, why do we think this is an issue? Because I have the verb before and then the adverb. Usually adverb should come first and then the verb. Everyone visiting the house asked the young girl, how could she kill the wolf single-handed and without a weapon? Everyone visiting the house asked the young girl, how could she kill the wolf single-handed and without a weapon? This is fairly easy. You should be able to understand and identify where the error is. It's how could she kill? Is that correct? Everyone visiting the house asked the young girl, how could she kill? Now, how could she kill the wolf? When you use the could before the person, that is she, it means why did she kill? How could he even do this mistake? Like we ask, right? For example, 2 plus 2 is 4. And we ask, how can he even make that mistake? Means you cannot do that, or you should not do that, right? But if I use how she could kill the wolf, means how did she manage? How did she achieve it? For example, I'm going to give you two situations. 2 plus 2 equals 4, but you wrote 5. So I ask, how could you even write an answer like that? Means you should not be doing that. Now, if I give a task and you are supposed to do it in 1 hour, but you actually did it in 10 minutes. Then I say, how were you able to do it? Means how she could do it if I am asking someone else. That means an ability. There is nothing to do with should that person do or should not that person do. So when I say how could she kill the wolf, means she should not have killed the wolf. But here that is not what it implies. Here the question is about how did she achieve it. Hence it should be how she could kill the wolf single-handed and without a weapon. Hence B, option B is where the problem is. Option B is where the grammatical error is. So let's read it again. Everyone visiting the house asked the young girl. Can we have it on the screen, please? Everyone visiting the house asked the young girl, how could she kill the wolf? No, how she could kill the wolf single-handed and without a weapon. Next, my health conscious people prefer margarine than butter. My health conscious people prefer margarine than butter. Again, this is about preposition. You need to think, you need to apply the basic knowledge of grammar and then understand where does the error lie. C is where the mistake is, because the word should be over butter. You always prefer something over another thing. So many health conscious people prefer margarine over butter. It's not than butter. You use than when you're comparing, but here you're preferring. For example, I prefer winter over summer in terms of weather. Next, the retiring principal asked his old pupils to take the interest in the school after he has retired. The retiring principal asked his old pupils to take the interest in the school after he has retired. Now look at the first sentence. It says the retiring principal asked his old pupils. That means it just happened. So after he has retired? No, after he retires. He's basically asked the students to take interest in the school even after he retires. So C is where the mistake is. The correct form is after he retires. The present juncture, however, the supercomputer would be costly toy. At present juncture, however, the supercomputer would be a costly toy. Please find out where the error is. It should be A, because the correct answer should be at the present juncture. It's not at present juncture, it's at the present juncture. However, the supercomputer would be a costly toy. The crew were on board and they soon busied themselves in preparing to meet the storm. The crews were on board and they soon busied themselves in preparing to meet the storm. Where do you think the issue is? Where do you think the error is? The last one, or option C. The crews were on board and they soon busied themselves for preparing to meet the storm. Sorry, I made a mistake here. In preparing to face the storm. It's not meet the storm, it's face the storm. That's why it's incorrect. Troy was taken by Greeks. This formed the basis of a story which has become famous. Troy was taken by Greeks. This formed the basis of a story which has become famous. A is where the issue is, because it should be the Greeks. Troy was taken by the Greeks. This formed the basis of a story which has become famous. I am much pleased to know that you have topped the list. I am much pleased to know that you have topped the list. This is very easy. I am very pleased to know that you have topped the list. So it should be I am very instead of I am much. A lot of people use very much. I am very much interested. If you use very, you don't have to use much. Much is a redundant word there. The method suggested in the lecture enables a student to learn more quickly and to have remembered for a longer period of time. The method suggested in the lecture enables a student to learn more quickly and to have remembered for a longer period of time. Huge grammatical mistake in one of the sentence. Please read, I want you to solve this particular puzzle. The method suggested in the lecture enables a student to learn more quickly and to have remembered for a longer period of time. It's of course C. And to remember, it's not to have remembered, it's to remember. My friend asked me if I can lend him my Parker pen for a few days. My friend asked me if I can lend him my Parker pen for a few days. Do we have an error here? Yes, we do. My friend asked me whether I can lend my Parker pen for a few days. The test will not need more than 1.5 hours to finish. The test will not need more than 1.5 hours to finish. Do we have an error? Read, think, analyze, and then respond. The test will not need more than 1.5 hours to finish. Okay, so a lot of examples we saw as far as sentence improvement, sentence correction is concerned. You can look at more examples as well on the internet. You will find a lot of passages or a lot of questions to practice, a lot of passage comprehension that you can look at. I am just going to take you through certain theme detection, just in case there are certain individuals who may have missed the session in the beginning. So please understand, in theme detection you will get a particular paragraph, very small paragraph, but it could be complex. Based on this paragraph you will be asked certain questions. Now it is very different from passage comprehension. In passage comprehension you are supposed to comprehend the hidden meaning of the paragraph, and they will ask 5 questions about certain details. How is it different from theme detection? Say for example there is a paragraph about a famous personality, and it says he was born in 1970. At the age of 17 he got an engineering degree. Okay, now the question, now this is passage comprehension. Now one of the question could be, in which year did he get his engineering degree? Now the paragraph says 1970 he is born at the age of 17, so obviously 70 plus 17 is 87. So options will be 1985, 87, 91, 97, and you need to pick the correct answer, because a very sensible and very minute amount of common sense is needed to calculate the age and then find out the year. That's passage comprehension. But what happens in theme detection? In theme detection you are essentially identifying the theme, like we say theme detection, you are identifying the theme of a particular passage, which means you need to look at the inner meaning. You need to understand what exactly is the essence of that passage. Now the question will be only one. Okay, let's look at this example so that you understand. The only true education comes through the stimulation of child's power by the demands of the social situation in which he finds himself. Through these demands he is stimulated to act as a member of a unity, to emerge from his original narrowness of acting and feeling, and to conceive himself from the standpoint of the welfare of the group to which he belongs. Now look at this question. The passage best supports the statement that real education will take place if the children imbibe action and feeling, will take place if the children are physically strong, if not provided in our in our schools today, comes through the interaction with social situations, comes from the self-centered approach of the students. The question is simple. The passage best supports the statement that real education, what is real education as per the passage? So you need to read it 2-3 times to understand the inner meaning of it and then find the correct answer. So in this case the correct answer is option D. What does option D say? It comes through the interaction with social situation. Look at line number 2 here. The only true education comes through the stimulation of the child's powers by the demands of the social situations in which he finds himself. Got it? Let's look at this one. You should be able to find the correct answer. There is a shift in our economy from a manufacturing to a service orientation. This increase in service sector will require the managers to work more with people rather than with objects and things from the assembly line. It talks about how manufacturing sector is very different from service sector, okay, and what is important to succeed in service industry. This passage best supports the statement that managers should have balanced mind, assembly line will exist in service organizations, interpersonal skills will become more important in the future workplace, manufacturing organizations ignore importance of people, service organizations will not deal with objects and things. What do you think is the correct answer here? Read again so that you understand. Read the paragraph again. There is a shift in our economy from a manufacturing to a service orientation. The increase in service sector will require the managers to work more with people. That is where the answer lies. It says service sector, you need to interact with people more. Now look at the options and find out what is the correct answer. The correct answer is C. Interpersonal skills will become more important in the future workplace because our future workplace is moving from a manufacturing to a service industry. Next, throughout the ages, the businessman has helped build civilizations, great cities, provided people with luxuries and artists with patronage, and lift his fellow citizens to understand the standard of living. In the last few centuries, the businessman had seeded the industrial revolution around the world. It talks about how industrial revolution has impacted the society. The passage best supports the statement that the businessman is accountable to the society, lives luxurious and comfortable life, is the beneficiary of the industrial revolution, is capable of raising his standard of living, has contributed to the growth of civilization. This is very easy. You should be able to find out the answer. Please read the passage again, read slowly, and then try to find out which option fits the best that supports the statement of what the role of businessman is. Read it again. I'm going to pause, read it. E is the correct answer. The businessman has contributed to the growth of civilization. Next, there is a shift in our economy. Okay, we just did this. Let's move. The virtue of art does not allow the work to be interfered with or immediately ruled by anything other than itself. It insists that it alone shall touch the work in order to bring it into being. Art requires that nothing shall attain the work except through art itself. It talks about how art is important and not the artist. Art, end of the day, is eternal. It always lives forever. This passage best supports a statement that art is governed by external rules and conditions. Art is for sake of art in life. Art is for sake of art alone. Artist realizes his dreams through his artistic creation. Artist should use his art for the sake of society. What do you think is the correct answer here? Read the passage. You will be able to find the correct answer. I'm very sure. Art is for the sake of art alone. It's not to do with artists, but art alone. It is up to our government and planners to devise ways and means for the mobilization of about 10 crore workers whose family total up about 40 crore men, women and children. Our agriculture is overmanned. A lesser number of agriculturists would mean more purchasing or spending power to every agriculturist. This will result in the shortage of manpower for many commodities to be produced for which there will be a new demand from a prosperous agrarian class. This shortage will be removed by surplus manpower released from agriculture as suggested above. It basically talks about how we have disparity of manpower in our country. There are more number of people who are involved with agriculture, so that needs to be balanced out. More number of people depend on agriculture. Okay. So this passage best supports the statement that employment in production is more fruitful than employment in agriculture. Indian economy is in poor shape basically due to improper mobilization and manpower. A shift of labor from agriculture sector to the industrial sector would uplift the living standard. The industrial sector is labor deficient while the agriculture sector is overmanned, means in industries there is a deficiency or shortage of labor. On the other hand, agriculture sector has oversupply of labor. Okay, I have explained the options. Now please read the passage and try to find out what is the correct answer. Alright, the correct answer is B. Indian economy is in poor shape basically due to improper mobilization of manpower. This is the last one for today. Satisfaction with co-workers, promotion opportunities, the nature of work and pay goes with high performance among those with strong growth needs. Among those with weak growth needs, no such relationship is present, and in fact, satisfaction with promotion opportunities goes with low performance. The passage best supports the statement that satisfaction is an inevitable organizational variable. Job satisfaction and performance are directly and closely related. Relationships between job satisfaction and performance is moderated by growth need. Every organization has few employees having weak growth need, means they don't really want to succeed. They are happy with what they are doing. Last, high performance is essential for organizational effectiveness. What do you think is the correct option here? And that is C. Relationship between job satisfaction and performance is moderated by growth need. It means if somebody wants to grow, they will perform better. When they perform better, they will be more happy with their job. Means job satisfaction will be high when the performance is high. And that happens when you want to grow. Clear? So we looked at a lot of examples for theme detection. We looked at examples for sentence correction, passage comprehension. Tomorrow, if time permits, what we're going to do is we're going to look at interview essentials once again. This is for the benefit of those participants who did not attend this session last week. I will talk about dress code as well as I will talk about common questions that they will ask in any interview for that matter, just not Infosys but any organization, and I hope this will be helpful. In case if you have missed the program, you can look up this particular video in this on the YouTube channel ManaTv Amravati. You can look for Infosys CRT and you will find a lot of videos which we have been telecasting since last week, as well as we did a lot of programs last year as well. So please take a look, please practice as much as possible, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm sure this was helpful. Please post your questions. If you have any questions, please post your question. I would take a look at it and provide you with the answer. All right. Thanks for tuning in. You have a great evening. Bye-bye.